guys, what's up? Today I want to do an immersive book recs video. Basically what that means is one day I was looking at my bookshelf and I was looking at my favorite books, and something that I realized a lot of them had in common was the setting. I really felt immersed in the setting. It felt like the author literally got me a plane ticket and flew me to whatever universe, whatever place they were trying to describe in their book, and it felt like I was there and I was watching it like a movie. So those are going to be those books I'm going to be talking to you guys today. This is very subjective, so I won't be surprised if some people are like, girl, the author was just doing their job describing to us what the setting was. But for some reason, these books that I picked out today, like their setting really just like had an impact on me and had an impact on the story, made me like it even better. So yes, some of these you may be like, I get it. Some of them you might be like, nah. Some of them you might be like, I'll give it a try, and that's okay. I don't think I've done a book rec video in a while. I'm going to do another short chapter book recommendations. Don't worry, has it been like 2 years? Yeah, but like I'll have that soon. But let's get started. First book we have, this might be a little repetitive to you if you watch my channel often, but we have the World of Narrow series. This isn't all of the books, I only have the first 2 books here, but this is about a girl named Fable, and she is stranded on this island by her father, and so she teams up with this helmsman and his crew and gets on his ship to go find her father. And while she's doing this, she has this special skill of dredging, and that's basically where she can go in the water and pick out gems. Essentially, she's basically like gem detector. Like she can get the gems out, she knows where there are, stuff like that. So the reason why I put it on this list is because this book series, at least for these 2 books, they're very like ship heavy, nautical. They talk about gems, trading, bartering, like things like that. And I really enjoyed it and how Adrienne Young described like just the whole process and Fable and her powers. And even when she would go and she would jump off the ship and go into the ocean and dredging, the way she describes the ocean, the way she feels like her body when she's holding her breath to go like under and pick it out. Yes, I would really give at least the first book a try. I love this book. It's one of my 5-star reads, favorite book of all time. Yeah, I really love the descriptions in this book, and Adrienne Young is one of my favorite authors. If I want to read something atmospheric and be immersed, Adrienne Young is my go-to. So maybe try these out. It's YA fantasy. Then we have The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love this book. Aside from its plot, the characters, the message of the story, the setting also really sticks out to me. I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid, maybe like her books like After I Do or whatever that book is called, and One True Love, stuff like that, where it's like more modern. But I feel like this book, Daisy Jones and the Six, I feel like when she has these books that are taking place in a specific time period, she really does a good job painting the picture and the atmosphere and the surroundings and painting the character to be in that setting. It might be like, well, duh, like I hope she would, but she does it in such a good way. I really enjoy it. And how she described just old Hollywood, I'm just like, yeah, was I around? No. On top of the setting, it also is almost like the setting plays a character in the story, because of the setting and the time period of where this book is taking place, like it affects the characters and their decisions. Thank you, Taylor. This is taking place in the 50s time period, like the 50s to the 80s, and she also doesn't shy away from troubles of this time period is a big part of the book too. So I really like that she also explores the difficulties of that time period, not just with Evelyn, but with Black people, women, queer people, everything of the sort. She did it. So thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Miss Reid. So let's not even do One True Love or whatever book got turned into a movie. Can we do this next? And I also really want to read Malibu Rising by her. I'm also sick, can you tell? Hannah Who Falls from the Sky. Every time I talk to you guys about this book, I'm like, it's a little, like, people don't know. Shut up. Anyway, this book. So this follows Hannah, and she's from this very secluded community called Clear Haven. And in this community, they practice polygamy. And so the man is going to have multiple wives, and then the wives are going to have babies, right? So it's approaching Hannah's 18th birthday, and she's supposed to go off and get married and basically do the same thing that all the women have to do. But Hannah starts getting these kind of differing thoughts. Her mother reveals a secret to Hannah. It makes Hannah question a lot about her identity and who she is and what she really wants out of life. And there's also a little romantic subplot in here that also helps Hannah with deciding what she is, who she is, what's she gonna do. And this book is just so good. And the reason why I put it on this list is because the author's prose, like, I feel like he didn't even like do anything crazy or like anything confusing in like his writing, but just the way it's written, like you have to read it to know what I'm talking about. But it's just so like, I'm in it, I'm here, I'm there, I get what you mean. Like I can literally imagine like a big plot of land and like houses that are kind of like run down and everyone knows everyone, and just like very far off the map, practicing these like having these outdated beliefs, and just a lot of stuff happens in this book. Trigger warning, attempted rape, and I think abuse might be in here, but if you're not really into things dealing with this type of stuff, skip it. But this is a really good book, of course, aside from that. And yeah, hopefully I did a good job explaining the immersiveness of the book. I should have categorized this into like fantasy, romance, whatever. It's too late. But now we have another series. We have the Simple Wild series by Kay Tucker. Love the series, love Kay Tucker so much. This basically follows, well, at least it's like the same couple throughout the first 3 books, and then this one's about a side character, but it takes place in Alaska. Is it called like the bush, Alaska? Guys, don't let me be insensitive and stupid. No, but so it's about basically the first 3 books follow this city girl named Kala, and she wants to reconnect with her father. Her father and her mother split up when she was young, and she wants to reconnect with her father now that he might not be here for longer. So she goes to Alaska, and again, like I said, she's like the city girl, so she's going to Alaska and she has to live in this like rural lifestyle. So it's like a complete change for her in her environment. And she meets this guy named Jonah, and Jonah's supposed to really help her navigate Alaska, and it's kind of like a fish out of water type of story. And when I tell you, it literally feels like I'm in Alaska when I'm reading these books. Like, okay, ignore the tabs, I read this when I first started reading, but like even like this is such a perfect representation. And there was a scene in the book where Jonah takes Kala on like a helicopter ride around Alaska, and like the way Kay Tucker describes like literally like seeing the trees and the water and the mountains, it's just like, girl, and the wildlife too. I love it. And then the 4th book, technically the 3rd, because 3rd book is a novella, but this book follows a side character, Marie, and her love journey, basically just her life too. And this is so good. 5 stars. I love this book so much. But this also takes place in the same place, Alaska. And then there's a sled dog race that happens, and that, like, if you just like don't know about sled dog racing, like, and you don't care, you will care about sled dog racing after this. It's like, girl, why do I care about dogs racing? Now I do, thank you. She just does such a good job describing just like the vibes. It's such a vibey book. Like, I'm sorry. Read this during the fall and winter and you will thank me. You will actually start clapping and being like, she was right, like she was onto something. This book has been out for a while, so like I won't be surprised if you already read this, but if you want a very like atmospheric romance, I would suggest these. Anyway, so next we have Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. So this is about, y'all, I scratched myself before this video and now it looks like I got slashed with a knife. So this follows Matt and Grace. They met in college, and after the first day they met in college, they were like this, right? This takes place in New York in the 80s or the 90s. The way she describes the things that they do, Matt and Grace, it's the things that you would do when social media wasn't everything and when having your phone wasn't everything. Whatever instrument she played, they would play that in the room. He was obsessed with taking pictures. He would take her to his photography lab in the school. They would just do just like such outdoorsy things, and because they did such outdoorsy things, the setting really shined through in those moments. I really enjoyed it. I think the setting 100% would change the book. If this was written modern day New York, it wouldn't be the same book. I feel like because it's like in the 80s, 90s, it has this like charm to it that it wouldn't have if it was in a different period. And yeah, also like the plot wouldn't work. So if you like kind of second chance romance, books based in New York, very artsy people, she plays an instrument and he is a photographer, if you like things like that, this might be for you. Oh, also miscommunication. Then we have Archer's Voice. Now, if you read this book before, you might be like, why is she putting this there? For some reason, the setting just really spoke to me. This takes place in Maine. Bree is escaping from her past and she lands in Maine at this like, it's not a lake house, but like she's like near a lake, okay? She can like bike to the lake. And then she meets this guy, Archer Hale, and he's kind of like, the town doesn't really like him. He's like weird guy. They tell her to stay away from him, but she's like, don't tell me what to do. And so they start like getting a connection and shit goes insane. Also, goes insane, but also like gets so adorable and cute. Like I've never blushing throughout the whole book. Anyway, this takes place in Maine, and they're at the location is this small lake town. They're going to the lake. They're laying out by the lake. It's summer. Guys, please read this before the summer ends. Just read this and just be like, yeah, is this book like centered around Maine? No. Did it being in Maine in this like beachy lake town help me enjoy the story more? Absolutely. So if you like small town, if you like really like meaningful relationships, almost like the characters in their relationship is real and like you know them and you have like a soft spot for them, read this book. All right, so this one will give me major side eye, but I'm gonna be quick about this. So Minx by Sophie Lark. Don't read this if you don't want to read about pet play. But guys, I didn't know that going into this book, but the reason why I'm putting it in this video is because when I tell you, like, I felt like I was in Gotham for some reason. It takes place in a city. It's like following a billionaire and this girl who's also like trying to like have an amassed amount of wealth, and I just could feel the vibe. The subject matter isn't dark, but if this was a movie, I can imagine just very like dark vibes, dark wood, mahogany wood, maroon, navy blues, dark greens, just like moody colors like that. And also there are pictures in this book, so let me try and find some that aren't like you're doing too much. If you can see that, like this, like the way the pictures are, it's like kind of comic book style, but can't you tell by the pictures it's very dark and moody, and that's the vibes I got from this book. Oh, this is such a cute picture. The scene probably was like kinky, but yeah, I didn't enjoy this book, but I did enjoy the scenery. It's like billionaires and like they're going to like rich people events. Rolling my eyes, but look at that. Are they in a cemetery? Yeah, but like last two. So this is kind of like obvious. The summer I turned pretty. Guys, if you want to feel like you are a teenager again and you're having teenage love and you're at this beach and you're at this beach house and you're getting ice cream and you're going to the fair and you're just living life and doing it right, and then you have these two brothers that are with you and you like both of them low-key. But did I enjoy the series? Not really. The first book I loved. The next two, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about this literally feels like you were thrown into a beach town and you're living life in the summer and you're trying to figure out which brother you're in love with. Like, please, like, you already know what this is about. And this is just like good summer vibes. All right, last book I have for you guys is People We Meet on Vacation. Now listen, Poppy and Alex, they meet in college, and after college is over, the semester is over, Alex drives him and Poppy back home because they live in the same town. Like, who would figure? So they do that, and now every summer for 10 years they go on a vacation. Because of that, Emily Henry had to make these vacations worthwhile. I think each chapter, it's like this summer and then their like vacation, this summer and then their vacation. So she had to really just immerse us into the setting and like what they were doing, and I really enjoyed that. It was so much fun. Each vacation they had just a certain vibe to me. I don't read Emily Henry a lot. This is my only book I read by her, but I really enjoyed this. And then there was one vacation where shit hit the fan, and then they stopped going on vacation. They meet back up somehow, and then they try and recreate the vacation that they used to do. I would read this during the summer. Yes, if you want like a nice good like summer vibe, vacation vibe, but also a little deep. So that's gonna be the end of my book recommendations video. I hope you guys might have gotten something out of it. If not, but hopefully I did a good job trying to like sell you guys on these books. I'm not great at this, but I really want to just like showcase books that I really felt like I was in. Felt like I was one of the side characters. Yeah, and I hope the pictures help too. But yeah, if you have any videos you want me to do or want more book recs, just let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.